is Dinosaur Day. We're going to be looking at dinosaurs from Jurassic World Rebirth, the newest Jurassic World film, and then comparing them with all the dinosaur effects in the old Jurassic films to see how they've changed and how they approach the scenes differently and what they can do now. And of course, our boy Gareth Edwards has directed the most recent release. He's a master of monsters and gargantuan creatures, so I'm excited to see how his style compares to that of people like Joe Johnston and Steven Spielberg and all the other greats.
The movie is out now on digital release, so you can go watch it from the comfort of your own home. The first stuff I really want to take a look at is when they're out on the boat.
I love how shiny its back is.
I'm always amazed when they blend like water physics sims with real water seamlessly. It just seems like black magic to me.
It feels like the hardest thing to do as a VFX artist. Well, like obviously you don't go out to the ocean to do this for real because that's kind of dangerous.
But they did.
What? Oh, dang it.
So when the boat is just under normal operation, they actually did go out into the middle of the ocean to film some of these shots here, but they quickly realized it's very difficult. Like they couldn't have any of the crew on the boat. It's just too small. They have like the guy with the boom pole mic on a separate boat off to the side, like trying to, you know, get some sound. But for all these shots where the boat is literally starting to capsize, it's on its side, they need to actually take the boat into a gimbal in a wave pool. So there's a special pool in Malta where they actually filmed all this stuff. It's a giant 6-axis gimbal, 12-axis gimbal. It's a huge gimbal. At this place in Malta, I looked it up, it's actually super, super sick. It's like dozens of feet of water in this huge tank. They've got the boat up on there. They're able to capsize it and stuff like that, flip it around.
Oh, do they just open it up to like the ocean?
Yeah, they literally just like let ocean water in to fill it up.
Oh, cool.
So that they can drain it all when they need to build the stuff.
Wow, they shot this on film?
Gareth shot the entire movie on 35mm film because he wanted to sort of replicate the aesthetic and vibe of the original Jurassic Park movies. And that ended up being like a huge pain, especially when they're shooting in Thailand in like the actual like mangrove swamps. Literally everyone, all the actors and all the crew are like up to their necks in water and they're just like trying to change out film reels. Oh. But yeah, like this set is sick.
Wow, look at that gimbal rig in there.
To actually get realistic motion, they put a motion control system on the actual boat out at sea to measure its sort of motion, and they're able to translate that into the gimbal so that they can get the exact same type of watery motion in the gimbal.
Wow.
That's really funny. Boat mocap.
Yeah, exactly. Boat cap.
God dang, that's crazy.
So this shot right here, we have a before and after for it. All that water there to the right is from the original plate. Obviously, all the water to the left with the horizon, all replaced. And of course, the dinosaur's not real, it was added. They try to keep as much of the original plate as possible. And so, like with something like this, you get the actual reflections of the boat on the water there to the right and the sky reflections. And most of that actually stays there.
Yeah, wow.
And they're still somehow getting the actual like splashes over on the top of it.
How they find the edge to blend is wild to me.
I mean, it looks like you could also use like the whitewater map. The moment the water gets so turbulent that it goes white and turns into that white foam, you get this nice, clean cutoff there.
And if you know how to like manage chaos and noise in just the right way, you can hide a lot of stuff.
ILM said that they wanted to do the most realistic water ever done. And Avatar is a thing, so that's a high bar
that's like the
to try to
bar.
Get. But the cool part is right next because the mosasaurs do not hunt alone.
So when you have something swimming in the water, leaving a trail, you have to do a simulation, of course, around the creature. That simulation has to persist for the remaining trail. And so the farther the creature goes, the more of a space you have to simulate, especially if you want to see that trail going back.
Yeah.
Then if you have other creatures also swimming around, you have to do that for themselves as well. In that one wide shot, they have like 6 different huge trails of particle sims they're doing. That's like terabytes and terabytes and terabytes of data.
I bet this shot is just fully CG. Like, look how long that shot has gone. That was like a full orbit around that boat.
But check out like all like the things that are going into it that are signifiers of it possibly being a real shot. Like first off, you see the camera inconsistency, which is basically, what would that be? A guy on a gimbal in a helicopter with a joystick moving the camera. See it like overshoot and undershoot a little bit. A consistent focal length. It's like realistic speed for an aerial shot.
You have to deal with all the people on the deck of the ship. They're all unique. They have the little water pumps going on the boat. And so it's like you have to deal with all those water sims. That's a sim, and the surface imperfections from that. Perfect compositing too. Like when you have wild CG and sims, it like hides the compositing and you forget that like somebody else is taking all these layers basically in like moving Photoshop and putting it all together. Like It's wild. Having just seen the Spinosaur in brand new cutting edge film with effects by ILM, I'm curious to see what the Spinosaur looks like in Jurassic Park 3 with CGI from 2001 and effects work from Stan Winston.
Help me! Help me! Ah!
That's real, isn't it?
That is real. That's an actual animatronic dinosaur. Well, the shots are different, you know? It's like when you have something real like that, your shots just naturally change. This is 2001, by the way, which is pretty impressive. The first Fellowship of the Ring had just dropped. CGI was really not photoreal yet, unless you had like very specific cases.
Amanda!
Wait, was that real?
That looked real.
Yeah.
Dude, imagine trying to simulate that puddle.
Like look at the detail on the texture. Was this is CGI here?
Yeah.
It's so funny how they just go to gray every time. It's like,
Look how black the shadows are in this shot. You can see the contrast from the light source really showing the shape of those scales, and the backside of it is so dark. There's no detail there at all.
Well, you have the full dynamic range of the film in that shot, from like the highlights to the shadow.
Yeah.
And you can see what it feels like infinite detail in the texture on the skin. You know, even though
Yeah.
we're this close to the foot, you can still see the tiniest of bumps and scratches. And then
then
here,
here.
no more dark shadows. And of course, it feels like there's a limit to the detail. But they go back and forth so frequently that it's kind of like it's confusing. You don't quite know when you're looking at CGI versus the real thing for a lot of these shots. Like that, was that CGI or was that real?
Oh, they cut away so fast. I'm pretty sure that was real though.
A lot of this is actually real. They built a crazy animatronic for this. I mean, this is Stan Winston and his effects shop like at their peak. He's been doing Jurassic Parks for 10 years now.
So what they did on Jurassic World was basically a similar thing. They had real animatronics for a lot of the dinosaurs, like the Titanosaur, for instance. They actually had a guy sculpt and create a scale version of the Titanosaur, and he painted it. And they were able to basically extract the textures of him doing that and put it on the CG creatures, but also brought that to set so that they could actually see what it looked like on location. Titanosaur is one of the biggest sauropods ever discovered, but there's a few of them. There's the Argentinosaur, there's the Patagotitan. They're all roughly the same size. Oh, and full CG shot there because we see the whole dino.
A whole dino's hole, too.
And it's moving too dynamically for an animatronic rig, which is basically just hydraulics and wires.
Yeah.
When they do those CGI shots that are like so clearly CGI because of just how it moves, it's still a little distracting. It's like, oh, you just got so free all of a sudden. Like other shots you do in classic monster movie close-ups, you know, a flash of a dinosaur, a flash of a claw, chaos, and then it's like hyper clear shot of dinosaur just fully articulated, like, roar, I'm running. And it's a little jarring.
I don't know, personally, it's kind of nice to finally get to see it because I've only seen pieces of it. I find myself wanting to see more.
I feel the same way. I do want to see it, but I think that's kind of part of the cinematography. Like this is like, to me, this works, right? You know, it's still a little obscured there. They all start running away. Same with that. But like the next shot here when it's chasing after them, it's cool and it's epic, but it feels effectsy.
I feel like they're doing a great job matching the lighting and the color and the sharpness and all, and yet there's still just like, there's something about it that it's like, okay, that wasn't originally there.
Shadows are the same thing as lights, right? Like when you have a light shining on something and you have a shadow underneath, it's like all the same physics, it's all the same world of photons. And even then in dark areas, you still have lights shining on things because you just have effectively dimmer lights, which is reflection of light. To get that kind of accuracy in your lighting is just beyond systems in 2001. So you're still doing a lot of tricks, you're still doing a lot of shortcuts. The crazy thing about this is that, you know, it's all being shot in film, and they're really matching that color workflow. They're taking a film strip, scanning it into a computer, and it's not like when you scan a piece of film, it's just perfect, like, you know, RGB, you know, JPEG color space. Like you have to deal with translating that kind of like awkward film color space into your computer color space, like so you can work with it in Photoshop, for example. And then you have to retransfer it back into like film color space to print it back onto film, or, you know, I guess print it digitally. But it's a lot of really tricky color space matching because your cameras are not filming natively into a digital format. They're filming into a physical silver crystal development format, and then you have to convert that into a color space. And ILM, you know, it's kind of been their like hidden trick up their sleeve is like that management of film. You know, back when they're doing optical printing, back when they're layering pieces of film together, and even when it became digital, their ability to like understand how to scientifically take the color space of film and the color space of digital and mix those two is really what lets them get that realistic looking CGI when other companies would struggle back in the day.
So like looking at the design of this Spinosaurus versus the Rebirth one, this one is a lot larger. This guy is closer to a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Notice there's no sort of like fin on the tail.
I mean, this is basically, it's a T-Rex.
It's a T-Rex.
With a little thing on the back. Basically, they're taking pretty huge liberties with the Spinosaurus in this.
They are,
right? Yeah.
they are, in the original one.
There is a piece of technology, CG technology, that they did use in Jurassic Park 3 that they hadn't really used for any dinosaurs before.
Wait, what?
Was ambient occlusion.
Oh, interesting.
So in all these renders that you're seeing here, you do get a little pockets of dark shadow like in the wrinkles of the dinosaur and stuff, and that's thanks to ambient occlusion.
Oh, I'm seeing it there, like under
the creases of the legs there. They're hacking less of the light than they used to, but still a lot of hacking. Like ambient occlusion is itself a hack. It's not an accurate representation of how light works in real life, but it's a good halfway there representation.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks nice if
It
you
does.
use it.
It gives you that tangible feeling of like those dark little contact shadows, which really makes something feel solid. This looks pretty CGI nowadays, but there's some pretty notable things happening tech-wise. They have muscle systems now in the dinosaurs, so you see the muscles like wiggling and bulging under the skin. They have a skin system in place, so you kind of get like the correct skin sliding over the figure of the dinosaur. But they did build a practical Spinosaur and a practical T-Rex for that sequence, so they could have them yell at each other, which they did not use a lot of it. There's actually a pterodactyl sequence that has a pretty awesome shot in it from this film.
Wait. Don't you think we should save this for the extended react on corridordigital.com?
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think we should head over there if you want to see the rest of this.
So my favorite sequence from the entire Rebirth movie is the Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's such a sick scene.
And it's crazy. There's like a cool looking set of like reptilian monsters that lived on Earth before humans were around.
Right?
Some pretty cool Earth lore.
Pretty fun lore. Yeah. God, the water sims are so good. Every time there's a water sim, it's like I'm struck by how high detail it is. I would argue they hit Avatar 2 level water quality. It's really cool seeing how like much more free like the cinematography is when you can do really good CGI. Like the shots are so much wider, the action's so much clearer versus like old-fashioned Jurassic Parks.
The behind the scenes for this is funny. They have a flag of an outline silhouette of the T-Rex head that they basically just put over the top of it for the shadow. But that's a fully replaced boat floor.
I feel like the water is keeping the CGI dinosaurs from feeling too animated. I wouldn't feel too worked up by watching a CGI dinosaur chase somebody unless like the directing and pacing and all that kind of stuff is like really, really tuned in. But here it's working a lot more for me because they have the CGI water the whole time too. So you have this crazy water sim that's just like anchoring the CGI and like making it feel more tangible, making it feel more real. And it's like bringing all this like motion and chaos and like real life vitality to like the CGI scene. This would not be nearly as compelling if it was on land, but by having it in the river here, it's like the shots are so much more alive.
Dude, that right there.
Yeah. Ugh. It's because you can't see depth in an image. When the T-Rex's head makes it into the two rocks, the shadow from those rocks get cast on the head, and that tells you that it's right there and it's right about to reach her. See, now boom, it feels close right there once it hits the shadow. I don't know if that was intentional, but like it really anchors like the moment to make you feel like, remember my art teacher telling me that shadow is how you tell where something is on your paper? And it's like the same for movie frames. You need shadow to tell you where the CGI exists in the world.
As much as I loved the sequence, I love how they made it more.
Oh yeah?
I think probably the coolest part of the whole sequence were the underwater shots when like he's just barely dodging the T-Rex's mouth. They filmed those shots at the Malta Film Studios as well in their deep tank there. So he's actually like on a wire getting pulled underwater. And the third place they shot was like this rapids, lazy river type place in London that was built for the London Olympics.
Oh really?
All of the time you see them floating down the river outside of the boat is basically them floating for real down this like lazy river, and then they're comping in all of the jungle around them. Lazy river is such an understatement of what this river is. It's like the opposite of lazy. It's an aggressive river.
Motivated river.
Motivated river.
Hardworking river.
But it's like everything is being replaced except for the dude. Like he's underwater here, but the ground is being replaced, the walls are being replaced. Yeah, but Gareth is talking about how it's like they have all these concrete slabs in the water, and so the art department dressed them all up as boulders and rocks. But the water is also frigid. It's freezing cold, and the actors are having to get in it, so they're wearing wetsuits underneath their clothes. And the dad is wearing a wetsuit all the way up to his wrists.
Oh, wow.
But he's wearing a short sleeve shirt. So they're wearing skin-colored wetsuits, and I was like, oh, wow, you can't tell. Until you realize that no, they're actually replacing his arms in certain shots. That's the unsung hero here, the arm replacements. Everyone's looking at the cool dinosaur in the water simulations, but the arms are also getting replaced.
It must be really hard to film a scene in Thailand and then like travel to England and be like, all right, where were we? It's crazy how cohesive the scene is.
And it's like, Gareth Edwards is not the VFX supervisor on this movie, but I guarantee you his VFX background helps assist a lot of his decision making for this.
Yeah.
So the Quetzalcoatlus has a very different head shape than like a pterodactyl. Ironically, we've never actually discovered a Quetzalcoatlus skull. We're inferring what it looked like from other pterosaurs that were similar.
Pterosaurs are gnarly creatures. They look so weird.
They actually pretty much nailed the scale of them here. They've got like a 30-foot wingspan. They're like 15 feet tall.
How do you know so much about the scale of dinosaurs, Wren?
Because I'm making a video about the true scale of dinosaurs, and that should be coming out at some point. Still working on it, so subscribe for that. But this next part here where he actually starts climbing up the wall was pretty cool. Like, look at that.
Wow.
Going down the gullet of a bird.
Wow.
I've never seen a person go down like a bird mouth like that before.
I've never heard you say those words like that before.
It's just the most stunning, beautiful landscape you can imagine. And that's our beauty environment. And then we've got a cliff, and that will be made up of the set pieces that we shot on the backlot.
Interesting plates. Those are real locations, but they're definitely being augmented further.
It's nice to know the tennis ball has still persisted as technology has gotten better. The tennis ball on a stick, specifically.
The first, like, sort of big reboot of the Jurassic franchise was with Jurassic World, and the big bad guy of that one was the Indominus Rex. And the idea is that this is a really intelligent creature.
You know, this is the first effectively modern Jurassic World VFX film.
Yeah, it's crazy to think this movie is 10 years old now.
Yeah.
Like, guys, it comes with the job. Like you're working with dinosaurs here. This has got to happen every once in a while. You know, I mean, it's a workplace accident. You know, they got to reset the counter up there. 0 days since someone got eaten by a dinosaur. But it's also, you know, it's like, did no one expect this?
But like, they're doing something similar to Jurassic Park 3, where it's like you only see parts of it at a time.
Yeah, they're having to do less hacking of light simulation for rendering this thing. But they're still having to hack it just a little bit. It's very like fluidly animated, but it does feel very CGI watching it now.
Yeah, that's interesting.
All right, so I just want to look at one more clip here. We've been looking at a lot of dinosaurs with scales, but as we know, dinosaurs, some of them at least, had feathers.
Yeah.
So let's just look at one scene with a feathered dinosaur. This is Jurassic World Dominion. Now, feathers is like a pretty big rendering challenge because they're not the same as hairs. You can't just use like a simple line to represent it, which you can render millions of lines relatively easily on a computer. Feathers, you basically have a line with a bunch of other little lines coming out of it, and they move and they flutter in certain ways. The lighting.
That edge light.
That edge lighting looks so good. That's like the real trick. If you want your CGI to look good, figure out your shader for your hair so you get that like that halo with the lights behind it. It does so much to make the CGI look real. Do you guys think that's CG water, or do you think they actually like blasted it with the speaker?
I don't think it would actually look that way in real life.
No, that's a
I think
sim.
this looks a little too
That's
like
definitely sim.
art directed for it to be a real
Yeah.
thing.
There's a lot of things going on. You see how like all the floating algae and moss gets pushed away perfectly too. Realistically, if you're gonna blow a speaker at like a pond like this, I don't think you're gonna see stuff separate like that. You know, that's like what happens to the clouds when a meteor hits Earth in a CGI shot, you know.
Do you guys think it's actually real and it's a CG takeover right on the blast?
I do. I think it's a real plate going across the water, and they're doing.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, you can see those particles. Look at those little water particle droplets right there. See that? those little marbles. So yeah, it's real to CG.
And that would allow them to then get the hybrid shot of her underwater there, because I'm pretty sure that's all done in post. So it's like they have the plate where they're going across the water and then cut, and they comp in the dinosaur. It's really cool. They got its reflection comped perfectly too around all the moss pads and stuff too. But then once you get rid of all that, then you can do an additional camera move where you move it down below the plane of the water. So you get that sort of like plane that looks like this, and then it gets up to level, revealing the stuff underneath. But it's a full CG takeover here. 2, a real plate of her underwater just like this, and it's probably just a static shot, and it's being revealed by that planar shift of the water plane.
It's crazy to think, like, you know, these shots are still really inventive and like specifically constructed for the effect. It's weird to think that they have to do it shot after shot after shot for like 2,000 shots.
Yeah.
So back in the day, it'd be like 40 shots that are magic tricks. Now it's like every shot is a magic trick. And not just like, oh, I'll comp it in, but like, yo, we're gonna film it just like this to do this trick, and this trick happens, and this trick happens, and it all comes together. And it has feathers.
Maybe we should just do a video about how loud a dinosaur's yell would be if you were right next to it, yelling in your face. Because like, I feel like I'm seeing these guys, they're standing there, T-Rex, in your face, like, wow. And then this guy, right there, they're getting yelled at, like point blank from these dinos. Like, how loud would it be if a dino really yelled in your face? I'm kind of curious.
That could be your next helmet video.
My next helmet video is I've got a speaker on it that's as loud as a dinosaur's yell, and see if you can bear it.
So as you guys know, when we talk about behind the scenes and making ofs, it's an issue where a lot of films hide the visual effects. They don't want to talk about the CGI. And it's also just an issue where we're losing a lot of this great documentation on how movies are made because the behind the scenes isn't really included with movie releases anymore. But they changed that with Jurassic World Rebirth here. So if you guys end up picking up the digital download, they have behind the scenes, making ofs, how it was done available as well. So you're getting that behind the scenes content that you used to get with DVDs. It's cool to see these big studios realizing that people love the craft of filmmaking and they want to see how it's done. Bring back behind the scenes content.
Bring it back. Bring it back. The movie is out now on digital release, so you can go watch it from the comfort of your own home.